I mean, we've done 5 years of podcasts around the basic principles that Charlie outlined, which are, make sure you understand the business. It's got a durable competitive advantage. It's got management you trust in. You buy out the margin of safety. All right. But if you're not careful, these things just become words. And
that's a great point.
Soon you're not really attentive to what it means to be able to understand the business. So and I think that happened to Bill, honestly. I think it happens to everybody.
Well,
right?
I think it makes a lot of sense. It's actually human nature, because you're right. They do turn into just words. And then you start thinking about all the details of what goes into those 4 principles, as we've done like crazy.
So I really like it that he's made it clearer what Charlie means by being able to understand the business. By number 1 principle, that it's simple and predictable.
Yeah.
And that is actually better for us. We like that better than are we capable of understanding? Because hubris can creep right in there, man. It's like, of course we are. We're smart.
Yeah, also a great point. Yeah.
We're experienced. I've been doing this for 40 years. Certainly
I'm capable of understanding just about anything.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But is it simple? Oh, well, maybe not.
But I'm so smart that I'm capable of understanding.
Right, exactly.
No, you're right. That's such a trap. Absolutely.
Simple and predictable. Those 2 things are so powerful. Just remember those 2 things and go back to Chipotle Mexican Grill. A simple, predictable business. That's so powerful. I'm going to give Ackman a huge credit for that. And it means what it says. I mean, I don't have to really say anything about it. It just means that.
Yeah, and it covers 2, actually. It covers both of those first ones from Buffett and Munger.
Yep.
Capable of, to me, it does. Capable of understanding and having a durable intrinsic competitive advantage could be boiled down into predictable.
Yep. And it gets boiled down to the next thing, which is the second principle, which is free cash flow generative. It's just, this thing's producing free cash flow. That is a huge symptom of moat, if you will, right? You see huge cash flow, you're seeing a moat of some sort. Now, whether it's durable, right, that becomes a really critical thing. And that's number 3, that it's dominating. It's a dominant market position. So I got to tell you, you can really get squirrely around that one.
I was going to say that's one that is difficult for people who are interested in newer companies, in more up and coming companies.
Sure. They're not dominant yet.
Right.
But you think they will be.
Right.
Or companies that have been around a long time and here's where I get a little bit off, is that I look at a company that's dominating a niche and say, dominant market position. They're in this little niche and they can control that and keep everybody out of it for some reason, right? For some way that's structured intrinsically into the business, they can keep people out of it. Like at Sprouts Market, they've just have a dominant niche in buying organic food super cheap because they have a regional distribution system where their regional guy has got authority to go out and make deals with farmers. And it's very difficult for a large group like Whole Foods at Amazon now, or a chain like Kroger's or Publix to do that. They're not going to give a regional guy that kind of authority. They want to centralize everything to keep their prices down.
Yeah. Are you saying that that's a useful way to think about it, or that's a way that you've gotten in trouble with?
No, it's very useful to think about a niche in terms of its dominance, and then you can see it by comparing its free cash flow generation to those other companies. I mean, if this is a really good niche, it's going to generate a lot of free cash flow when other companies maybe won't. And in fact, Sprouts does do that. Enormously free cash flow generative. Okay, then the fourth one, which helps you with your dominant market position and your free cash flow, and is also very moaty, is large barriers to entry. Now, this is not easy here, guys. Large barriers to entry,
Yeah.
How do you know? that a company has a large, does Tesla have a large barrier to entry or not?
Maybe. I mean, I would say that there's different ones. Like, for example, a very high capital intensive industry that requires a lot of money to get into the game. I would call that a large barrier to entry. Or it's a lot of like the moaty stuff, you know, or
it is
something,
very moaty.
A business or an area where everybody just buys the standard brand. So like Coca-Cola is a fantastic example of that. It's very hard to get into the, what do you call that? What do Coke and Pepsi
space,
call?
Distribution.
No, but like, what do you call like the dark cola that Coke and Pepsi both are? There's some name for that. I don't know what it is.
I don't know.
So if you want to make a dark cola and that's the niche that you're trying to get into, it's going to be really hard to get into that one because they've got the market.
Yeah, and they've got the market because they spend a tremendous amount of money and have for 100 years on branding. So they've got a piece of your head. And the way the product tastes, right, is also, you get a certain addiction to
exactly.
it. And that's what you want. I want a Coke. I don't drink Pepsi. I don't even like Pepsi.
Right.
So I don't like to go to Taco Bell, even though I like tacos, because they don't have Cokes.
Yeah.
Right? So I'll go eat crap McDonald's food.
Let me just say, for the benefit of
Pepsi.
the audience, is 100% true and annoying when you want to have fast food of a certain type and you're in one car together.
It is so true.
Yeah.
So large barrier to entry is massively important, and it's really easy to make an error here, particularly if the business isn't simple, right?
Yeah.
So if you don't know what the barrier to entry is, just assume that it's too hard. The company's too hard and move on. You gotta know it.
For me, this is a place of really thinking about what is the future bringing down for this industry or this niche in this industry.
Good.
What kind of barriers aren't going to exist in 5 years? And I'm thinking about the wrong stuff. This is like one of those I'm selling encyclopedias question. And it's really hard to get into making encyclopedias because you have to have such a great process of people to write them. And then you have to have printers and you have to just have distribution. It's a really great business with really high barriers to entry.
Yep.
Until nobody wants an encyclopedia all of a sudden.
Right. Because everything's on the internet.
Yeah.
100% true. Large barriers to entry. So figure that out. That's super key. And this next one is super easy. I mean, free cash flow is super easy because you can just look it up and you can see it right there. High return on capital, also super easy. Just look it up. It's right there on every website.
Oh, that's the next one. Oh, no, wait. Yep. That's the second.
That's the next one.
Yeah.
High return on capital. So that thing is more also is a symptom of a deeper cause. It's a symptom of a good moat. If somebody's got a high return on capital, they're making you 20% a year on your borrowed money and your equity in your company. Man, they got something going on that's fabulous. If they're doing that year after year after year after year. In fact, when I'm looking at a company, Danielle, that is the absolute first thing I look at.
Oh, is it?
Absolutely.
I love process info.
If I don't see double-digit return on capital, return on equity, if I don't see double digits there, if I'm seeing 8.3, right, or something like that, and I'm looking at least 10 years of data all at once, why on the toolbox I've now got 30 years of data, so I can look at it really quickly and see.
Cool.
If these guys are double-digit return on equity and return on capital for 30 years, like Coca-Cola is. Oh, okay. They've got a huge moat. There's got to be a moat there. I just got to figure out what it is. Hopefully it's simple enough that I can. So high return on capital, massively important. Now I'm going to jump one. We'll come back to the number 6, but number 7 is they don't need outside capital to survive. That's a strong balance sheet. What that means is they don't have debt. Let's just boil that down to that. They don't have debt. And they got a lot of free cash flow. And those two things, no debt, high free cash flow, almost inevitably mean high return on capital. So if they don't have a lot of debt,
I do think that saying that equals no debt isn't necessarily the way he means it.
It's close.
Like it could be that they're leveraging with debt for good reason, but they have the funds to pay it off and it's not a big deal, something like that.
You guys, if you enjoyed this video and you feel it was valuable in teaching you more about how to invest, hit the like button and please share the video with your friends. And if you want more investing content, subscribe to my channel. And don't forget to click the button on the screen. We got a free gift for you. Thanks again for watching.